Bona insizwe.
Chaos erupted in Durban's Point area as angry residents, protesters, political activists, and police officers descended on a residential block long accused of being a hub for drugs, crime, and illegal activity, as crowds gathered outside the building shouting demands for action. Tension reached boiling point when police stormed the flats in a dramatic operation that ended with the arrest of a suspected drug dealer allegedly linked to narcotics distribution in the area. But this was not just another ordinary police raid. At the center of the operation stood Action SA counselor Zolani Khumalo, one of the country's most controversial anti-crime activists. Working side by side with police officers, while furious protesters surrounded the building to stop suspects from escaping. Videos and photographs from the scene quickly spread across social media, showing Khumalo moving through the operation while residents cheered and demanded tougher action against crime and undocumented migrants.
What is the update? Number 2, bese siya decide ukuthi laba abavula itoro bayavalwa or kanjani. High discipline. Yes, lalela mphakathi. Yazi ukuthi kukhona laba basile ne. We're going to give directions ozoyenza into engafunwa. Sizomshaya ke thina. Oze ngengqondo yokulutha number 1. Oze ngengqondo yokulimaza izitolo zabantu. Sizomshaya thina uqobo lwethu. So what we're going to do right now? Amaphoyisa lana nini? We go to the police station, sifuna update le, akusi opportunity abantu abazosipina. We want justice. We want ukuthi kutholakala umfowethu.
The dramatic operation has once again exposed the growing anger, fear, and frustration brewing inside South African communities, as citizens increasingly take matters into their own hands amid rising concerns about drugs, illegal immigration, violent crime, and what many describe as failing law enforcement. According to reports, the operation took place on Wednesday, May 6, 2026, after community members provided information alleging that flats in the Point area were being used for drug trafficking and criminal activity. Residents claim the building has become notorious for suspicious activity, with allegations that drug syndicates had been operating openly while communities live in fear. As police prepared to move into the building, protesters reportedly formed a perimeter outside the residential block to prevent anyone from escaping. Crowds gathered in large numbers, while officers conducted searches inside the flats. During the operation, police arrested a suspect identified by activists as an undocumented foreign national allegedly involved in drug dealing. Authorities have not yet publicly released full details regarding the suspect's identity or the charges expected to be laid, but the arrest itself immediately ignited political and social debate across South Africa. For supporters of the operation, the scenes in Durban represented ordinary citizens finally standing up against crime and demanding action from authorities. Many residents say communities have grown tired of living with drugs, gang violence, robberies, and criminal syndicates operating in residential areas. Some social media users praised Zolani Khumalo and community activists for applying pressure on authorities and helping expose criminal activity. Others described the operation as an example of communities reclaiming their neighborhoods after years of frustration. But critics warned that the growing trend of citizen-led enforcement carries serious dangers. Human rights groups and political commentators have repeatedly warned that public anger over crime and illegal immigration could spiral into vigilantism, xenophobia, and unlawful targeting of foreign nationals. And that debate is becoming increasingly explosive across South Africa. The Durban operation comes during a period of rising tension surrounding undocumented migration and foreign-owned businesses. Across several provinces, protests have erupted demanding stronger immigration enforcement, tighter border control, and harsher action against criminal syndicates allegedly involving undocumented migrants. Activists like Ngizwe Mchunu and other controversial figures have become increasingly vocal in mobilizing communities around these issues. In recent weeks, some protests have focused on allegations involving foreign-owned businesses, crime networks, and kidnappings. One case that sparked national attention was the disappearance of 27-year-old Mazwi Kabika in Vosloorus. His mysterious disappearance triggered widespread anger, protests, and political intervention before he later resurfaced alive after nearly a month missing. During the protests surrounding his disappearance, some activists and residents linked the case to tensions involving foreign-owned businesses, although investigations into the matter remain ongoing. Now, with the Durban Point raid, many South Africans believe a new phase is emerging, one where frustrated citizens are no longer waiting for authorities to act. Political analysts say the involvement of politicians directly participating in police-linked operations reflects growing public dissatisfaction with the pace of law enforcement and governance. Communities battling drugs and violent crime increasingly want visible action, not promises. For residents of Durban Point, the issue goes far beyond politics. Many locals say they have lived with fear for years. The Point area, once promoted as part of Durban's urban renewal ambitions, has also battled ongoing problems linked to drugs, prostitution, criminal syndicates, and deteriorating buildings. Some residents claim criminal groups operate openly in certain residential blocks, while vulnerable families feel trapped inside dangerous environments. Community leaders argue that residents repeatedly reported suspicious activity to authorities, but little changed. This frustration has fueled support for activist-led operations and community mobilization efforts. But legal experts caution that public frustration cannot replace proper policing and due process. South African law is clear that law enforcement powers belong to police and authorized authorities, not civilians or political activists. Critics argue that when communities begin directly surrounding buildings, searching for suspects, or identifying alleged criminals themselves, the risk of abuse and violence rises dramatically. There are also concerns about misinformation spreading online during emotionally charged operations. In recent months, social media has played a major role in amplifying public anger around crime and immigration. Videos, rumors, and unverified allegations often spread rapidly, sometimes fueling tensions before authorities can verify facts. The Durban operation also arrives at a sensitive diplomatic moment for South Africa. Relations between South Africa and some African nations have become increasingly strained over recurring incidents of xenophobic violence targeting foreign nationals. Countries like Nigeria and Ghana have previously raised concerns following attacks on their citizens and businesses inside South Africa. Reports of protests targeting foreign-owned businesses have triggered fears that tensions could escalate further. Some Nigerian lawmakers previously threatened diplomatic responses and boycotts over perceptions that foreign nationals are being unfairly targeted in South Africa. President Cyril Ramaphosa has repeatedly condemned xenophobia, while also acknowledging public frustration over illegal immigration and crime. The government has attempted to balance stronger immigration enforcement with warnings against vigilantism and violence. But for many ordinary South Africans struggling with unemployment, poverty, drugs, and violent crime, emotions remain raw. South Africa continues facing one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, especially among young people. Economic hardship has intensified frustration in many communities where residents believe competition for jobs, housing, and opportunities is becoming unbearable. Criminal syndicates operating in urban areas have further deepened public anger. Drugs remain a major issue in communities across Durban, Johannesburg, Cape Town, and other cities. Families say addiction is destroying lives while gang violence spreads through neighborhoods. Community activists argue that government institutions have failed to protect ordinary citizens. This perception is fueling the rise of activist-driven operations where politicians, community groups, and residents organize protests, raids, and demonstrations demanding direct action against crime and undocumented migration. But security experts warn that the situation is becoming increasingly dangerous. If communities lose faith in formal policing systems, there is a risk that parallel forms of justice could emerge, something that could quickly spiral out of control. South Africa has already witnessed incidents where suspected criminals or undocumented migrants were assaulted by angry mobs. The line between community activism and vigilantism can become dangerously thin. In Durban Point, police reportedly maintained operational control during the raid. Authorities conducted the searches while protesters remained outside the building. No major violence was reported during the operation. Still, the powerful imagery of protesters surrounding a building while police searched flats has intensified national debate. Some South Africans view the operation as proof that communities can successfully work alongside law enforcement to combat crime. Others fear it reflects growing desperation and declining public confidence in the state's ability to maintain order. Meanwhile, the role of political figures in these operations is also drawing scrutiny. Zolani Khumalo has become known for anti-crime activism and public interventions in communities battling drugs and criminal activity. Supporters describe him as fearless and willing to confront issues many politicians avoid. Critics accuse him of fueling tensions and politicizing law enforcement operations. The broader political implications cannot be ignored. Immigration, crime, unemployment, and border control are becoming increasingly central issues in South African politics ahead of future elections. Parties and activists are competing to position themselves as defenders of struggling communities frustrated by economic hardship and insecurity. At the same time, civil rights groups warn that inflammatory rhetoric could inflame xenophobic sentiment and place innocent people at risk. Many foreign nationals living in South Africa are themselves victims of poverty, instability, and exploitation. Thousands operate small businesses, work low-income jobs, or support local economies in townships and urban areas. Human rights advocates stress that criminal activity should never be used to generalize entire communities or nationalities. Yet, public frustration continues building. Residents living in crime-ridden communities often say they feel abandoned while criminals operate openly. Drug addiction continues tearing families apart. Gang violence remains widespread, and police resources are frequently stretched thin. This environment creates fertile ground for activist-led mobilization and public anger. The Durban Point raid may therefore represent something much bigger than a single arrest. It may signal a growing shift in how communities respond to crime in South Africa, with citizens increasingly stepping into spaces traditionally controlled by law enforcement. Whether that trend strengthens public safety or deepens division remains one of the country's most urgent questions. For now, investigations into the Durban operation continue. Police and prosecutors are expected to determine what charges the suspect may face and whether broader syndicates are connected to the building targeted during the raid. Authorities say specialized police units and the National Prosecuting Authority remain focused on dismantling organized drug networks operating in urban centers. But beyond the legal process, the scenes from Durban have already left a lasting impact. Crowds surrounding buildings, politicians joining police raids, angry residents demanding action, foreign nationals accused of criminal activity, protesters taking control of the streets. These are images reflecting a country wrestling with fear, frustration, economic pain, and deep political division. And as South Africa continues battling crime, drugs, unemployment, and immigration tensions all at once, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The pressure boiling inside many communities is no longer staying silent.